Hi. I think I have seen you before. Yeah, your face looks familiar. Yeah, but I can't remember exactly where did we meet. Me too. Was it at Jake's birthday party? Who is Jake? Yeah, Jake is... Does this happen to you? We recognize a face, but we cannot quite remember the name. Or maybe we are trying to say something, but we simply cannot find the right word. We know it, but still we struggle to recall it. Learning a new way to a place or learning a new game feels a bit difficult. And this is the struggle of a common man with what we call neuroplasticity. There are many ways to have a smarter brain. But let me tell you 3 easy ones that have quickly started showing some results for me, as early as in about 30 days or so. But now you might be thinking, why is neuroplasticity so important? Modern science tells us that our brain is not static. It changes every day. And it also tells us that our brain power reduces with our age. But then you will realize that some people have sharper brains despite their old age. Why? You see, our brain can learn and adapt to change by creating additional links to neighboring neurons. And this process, this ability is neuroplasticity. And it is incredibly important because it is the basis of our experiences, our human experiences. In fact, part of this ability is what makes us human in the first place. Now here is a catch. We might think that more neurons would be a good thing, which is true, but actually their strength in connectivity is even better. Each neuron can send out thousands of connections to other neurons. But as we age, we lose some, we retain some. And better neuroplasticity means a better ability to make more connections and making those connections over time. If you want to gauge your brain's potential for plasticity, ask yourself how easy it is for you now to learn new things than it was, say, 5 years ago. If it is easier, it means your brain has better plasticity. So what does having a good neuroplastic brain means in real life? Think about your interactions with other people. How easily can you remember someone's name from the recent past? Or how comfortable you feel when you need to create music, or art, or write something. I know many people who follow a strict daily routine. But the problem with them is that the routine, if it has to change for some reason, they simply cannot get through it. Are you one of them? And if you were to play a new board game, how quickly do you learn the rules of the game? Do you give up easily, or it is a cakewalk for you? Many published studies support increasing evidence that even in adult life, learning can change the structure of the brain. London taxi drivers are one such example. A study was done by Professor Maguire and colleague Dr. Catherine Woolley. They found that the trainees who qualified as taxi drivers had a greater volume of gray matter than before they started their training. This hippocampus region is specialized in complex spatial information for efficient navigation. And because taxi drivers have to navigate around the London city, their posterior hippocampus showed a significant difference compared to the bus drivers. And that is because bus drivers always follow a limited set of predefined routes. Another study suggests that if the learning process requires more cognitive efforts, then new nerve cells are generated much faster, and they also survive longer. So now the question is, what can we do to improve our brain's neuroplasticity? There are 3 easy to follow things that you can start doing today, like writing, experimentation, and diet. Now by writing, we essentially tell our brain what is important. It also helps in clarifying and condensing our thoughts. This way we can easily remember more things. Writing as a process also helps us through a continuous loop of thinking, writing, feedback, and rethinking. And of course, this helps in making the brain smarter. So practice writing, whether you write a journal, diary, notes, poetry, story, anything. Write whatever you prefer, but remember, I'm not talking about tapping on the screen or keyboard. I'm talking about good old-fashioned writing with hands. And that is important because we want to increase cognitive efforts while writing so the brain gets adequate exercise. A lot of people find it tricky when I say do some experimentation. Comfort provides us with state of mental security. When we are comfortable, our brain releases chemicals such as dopamine and serotonin. And these chemicals are what makes us feel happy. But in the long term, comfort is bad for our brain. Without mental stimulation, dendrites start to shrink or completely disappear. And by the way, dendrites are the connections between brain neurons that keep the information flowing. Experimentation can happen in two ways. Either you're trying something new for the first time, or maybe you're doing something that you have always done, but doing it differently. You take your pick. It is the willingness to leave the comfort zone that is the key to keeping the brain new. So experimentation, trying new things, trying new ways of doing things can help you get out of your comfort zone in a slow and steady manner. Now, talking about diet, I'm not talking about specific food items to eat, but there are some principles, and if we keep those principles in mind, it will work. For example, think about a diet that supports stable blood sugar. Not too much, not too less. Think about a diet that addresses inflammation. That is the foundation to not only restore, but also improve your brain's plasticity. There are several studies that have shown that a junk food-laden diet reduces neuroplasticity. And that is because it reduces the generation of new neurons. It can also cause brain inflammation. Basically everything that you don't want to happen. We all want our brains to be smarter and better. But just like any other part of our body, the brain also needs exercise and appropriate diet. And sure, there are many more ways to have a smarter brain. But if you want to see some positive changes in 30 days, then the 3 things I told you are the best place to start.